With many structures founded under the auspices and the scope of this Turkic Council, the vision statement showed us that we are in great need of further institutionalization. And with great joy, I would like to state that we are on the same page with the leaders of other member states in the Turkic Council. Hopefully, if the pandemic conditions allow, we will organize the 8th Ordinary Summit of Turkic Council on November on Turkey. We will take the concrete steps in order to institutionalize it even further. A prestigious building in Istanbul will be serving for the needs of administration for the aforesaid organization, which we prepared already. Last week, we had a chance to host Charles Michel, the President of the European Council, and von der Leyen, the President of the Commission, and we have discussed many issues in great detail, from the customs union to the Eastern Mediterranean issues to the Cyprus problem, and from the Memorandum of Understanding of the 19th of July, we had discussed many issues, and I hope that this meeting will be a turning point for EU-Turkey relations. In addition to those common issues, we had a chance to inform in great detail our addressees regarding to the issues that they raised during our talks and our meetings. As we reiterated all the time, Turkey has always been sincere and transparent in our relations with the European Union. From the first day onwards, we have taken many steps which will enable us to become a full member states. There were many member states who became full members, although they applied much later from us, but it is crystal clear that we are far more superior from them. And we have undertaken all of our responsibilities which arose out of the 18th of July Memorandum of Understanding, and we prevented a huge influx of migration to European Union. And I also would like to state that there have been responses against the rule of law and democracy in the European Union during the pandemic, and this clearly showed the double standards that have been shown towards Turkey. Turkey is facing with a lot of threats, including but not limited to terrorist attacks, which the European Union is far from facing it. And we are speaking about those challenges to our addressees from the European Union in every opportunity. We are still committed to our targets of becoming a full member of European Union. Our only request from the European Union is to implement the same level of treatment to Turkey as they have done to other member countries. Once again, I would like to underline that Turkey is putting lots of endeavors in the field of the rule of law, democracy, but we are, of course, prioritizing the protection of the rights of our citizens and increasing their welfare. Of course, we will be much more happier if we manage this process together, hand in hand with the European Union. Otherwise, we will do what is best for the needs and the interests of our citizens. So, in short, the 8th organization, the developing 8th organization, have carried out the 10th summit under the auspices and the leadership of Bangladesh, to which we participated online. The General Secretariat of the D8, which was constructed thanks to the endeavors of our deceased professor Necmettin Arbakan, unfortunately couldn't reach to the point it deserves, because this organization is choosing the peace rather than war, justice and development rather than abuse, solidarity rather than conflicts, and a rule of law and democracy rather than the violation of the human rights. So this organization has been founded by taking into opportunity these noble deeds and interests. So it is without doubt and question that this is a very important organization. So, as a result, this organization is representing a population of 1.1 billion people, most of which is comprised of the young people. That's why we are showing every effort in order to improve this organization. As we strengthen this organization with the new members and partners, we will increase the cultural and social solidarity between the member states of the D8. Hopefully, this organization will serve for the utmost benefit of the humanity. Last Friday, we had a chance to discuss many issues, from tourism to the Ukrainian crisis, from Syria to the Karabakh issues, together with Mr. Putin. We had a talk over the phone with the Russian president. Whatever the conditions are, the channels of dialogue are kept open with Russia, which enabled and prevented the conflicts in the region to aggravate. That's what I sincerely believe. This strong, effective diplomatic cooperation that we have with Russia will be a very good example for the resolution of many conflicts all around the world. One day later, from our talk with Mr. Putin, we had a chance to speak with Mr. Zelensky as we hosted him in Istanbul in our High Strategic Council meeting, including but not limited to Donbass crisis, which aggravated the tensions between Ukraine and Russia, was among the topics that we have discussed together with the Ukrainian president. We have discussed many sensitivities, including the Crimea, and we have come to terms to undersign the free trade agreement with them. For our Tatar brothers and sisters, we asked the support of Ukraine for the construction of a mosque and the households in the region. And each step to be taken in order to improve the Turkish and Ukrainian relations will be quite instrumental, not only for the sake of those two countries, but for the whole region. On Sunday, together with the women and youth branches of the International Democrats Union, we had a chance to evaluate and assess the services that they are providing to our Turkish migrants. So our citizens who migrated to the European countries has reached to a total population of 6 million, and we really appreciate and we are proud of the success stories that they have written so far in many fields. Although they have been facing with the racist treatments from those countries, our citizens have shown that they will be permanent in those lands, and we have sided with them always, as we will be doing so in the future. The International Democrats Union is one of the most important supporters of our citizens who are fighting for democracy and the rule of law in the European lands. That's why, once again, I would like to congratulate and thank this organization, and I wish them further success. Yesterday, we hosted, together with his delegation, Mr. Dibeibe, the Prime Minister of the interim government of Libya, in our presidential complex. Libya is no ordinary country for Turkey. Libya is a country with which we have more than 500 years of relation. That's why we want Libya to live under peace and welfare, as we would like to live under peace and welfare as Turkey. And with our common history and heritage, we are trying to construct our future together. And we are proud, and we will never abstain from siding with our brothers and sisters in Libya, as they are facing with many targets and attacks from the foreign powers. In our talk that we have had with Prime Minister Mr. Dibeibe, we have stated that we are ready to extend any kind of support whatsoever, so that the sovereignty and the authority of the GNA will be disseminated to the whole Libya. And we would like to make a call from the international community to side with the legitimate government of Libya rather than supporting the coup plotters. So, in order for the Libyan brothers and sisters to see their futures brightly, we will give them every possible support that we can. My august nation, as you can see that these constructive policies followed by Turkey will bring along the beneficial results, and in order to realize it, we are exerting intense efforts. And as we are fighting against the pandemic in Turkey, at the same time we are marching towards our targets of democracy with commitment. With our reforms in the field of law and democracy, we are realizing our reform packages one by one. And we are also working in order to provide a more modern and civilian constitution for our country meticulously. We are continuing with our preemptive operation cross-border so that Turkey will not be subject to the threat of terrorism again. On the side of the economic development and production, I would like to say that everything seems quite good because our trade is breaking records every month, and our factories are working day and night in order to meet the demand. And there is a visible vividness in our production. In order to meet the demand, we are continuing with our further investments, and the additional employments are being done all the time. And we are giving the logistic support to our producers without the bottlenecks in the field of supply of the mediary products. We are sure that our tradesmen will perform even better. And in order to tackle with those financial challenges, we are doing what is necessary. And there are, unfortunately, the ones who are trying to abuse those conditions for their interests. But once again, we would like to make a call towards them to side with their nation. Turkey is also fighting against the economic hitmen and the terrorist organization, and we are on a critical point at the moment. So, as we win this fight, which is the symbol of 2023 targets, then the doors for a brighter future will be open for Turkey. Otherwise, Turkey will go back to the chaotic times of 1970s and 1990s. So the day will be shining for those who would like to turn Turkey back to those times. But as long as we are embracing our brotherhood and solidarity, we can overcome those problems, and we will never allow those the opportunity to take Turkey back to those chaotic times. At the same time, we will support everyone who is negatively affected by this pandemic. Especially in the field of service sector, there has been many difficulties which we follow very closely. Due to the pandemic restrictions, there have been many tradesmen who have to halt their activities, and we are supporting them. through different means. Only under the social economic support, the unconditional support that we have given to our tradesmen go beyond 60 billion Turkish liras. But we are also aware that our tradesmen would like to go back to old normal. Especially the tourism sector have completed all their preparations and they are waiting the conditions to turn back into normal again. And as the government, we will support each one of our citizens from different provinces and from different sectors so that this era will be passing over with least damages possible. From the rental support to the tax discounts through different means, we are embracing our tradesmen and we are supporting them. Thanks to the incentives and the subsidies that we have provided in order to improve the employment, we have prevented the damages which will be irrevocable to be corrected. In order to improve the conditions of our pensioners, we are taking very important steps. And one of the packages that we have improved during the pandemic was the fact that we have increased the pensions, the minimum pension level from 66 Turkish liras to 1,500 Turkish liras. And we have also allocated 24 billion Turkish liras of an additional support for our agriculturers. And at the same time, the potato and the onion producers who were facing their products to get rotten receive a news from us. A certain amount of those products will be acquired by our Office of Agricultural Products. We started buying their products so that we can support the needies in Turkey. In Eskişehir, in Ankara and Istanbul, approximately 7,500 of potato and onion has been bought by the government and they have been dispatched to more than 15 provinces. And these procurements by the government will continue in the upcoming days. At the same time, the rice producers have difficulties, especially in the province of Edirne, and their difficulties will be resolved through the procurements done by our Agricultural Product Office. Yesterday, we were together with our youngsters in the library of the presidential complex and we discussed what we are doing for the employment of our young people and what else can we do about their employment. In Turkey, all our sons and daughters have the chance to receive education in each level. In the past, having an access to education was a huge problem, which was solved so that we can focus orienting our young to the profession of the future. And via the order that I have given to my Minister of Industry and Technology, in the organized industrial zone, our students will be in close contact with the factories in those regions so that our students will go to those technology companies and they will be employed before they are graduating from the university via and during their internships, so that the background knowledge that our students receiving from the universities, they will also have a chance to develop their skill sets through their internships and through their summer works in those organized industrial zone. And we are increasing the support that we are giving towards our students. Last but not least, for each person to be employed in the private sector, the owners of those companies will have a chance to receive 100,000 Turkish liras of additional loan. And we are making obligatory for our young people to be employed in the public sector. And 8,100 of our young people will be employed in the public institutes. And with the last 333 employment of the relatives of our veterans and martyrs, we have increased their employment level to a total amount of 45,000 people. Hopefully, as we are overcoming all those challenges, we will reach to better positions. The ones who are going to solve the problems of the pandemic and the ones who will be positioning Turkey to its desired and deserved place after the pandemic are us again. There will be ones who would like to decrease our morale and who would like to confuse our minds, but no statements of such kind will serve for the good of our nation, but rather it will only contribute to chaos, thereby increasing the burden on our shoulders. That's why I would like to make a call to everyone to compete for doing good deeds and never rooting from the path of justice. My august nation, as Turkey is performing quite well in its fight against the pandemic, Turkey has also been one of the exemplary countries in all around the world. In many countries, including Europe, there has been many restrictions which are eased, and we can not be behind that. So with the vaccination, which has reached to 19 million already, Turkey is one of the best performing countries in terms of the vaccination. And we are pushing our limits in order to improve the pace of vaccination. But unfortunately, whenever the death toll and the new infected cases are rising, then we have to make our restrictions much more stringent. We have to decrease the level of infection below the average of the globe. Otherwise, we might be facing with the risk of not benefiting from the opportunities arising out of the pandemic. Unfortunately, increasing number of deaths and the infection in the big cities led us to make our restrictions much more stringent. Although this is not a disaster scenario, we cannot keep a blind eye to this worsening situation. We have already announced certain restrictions with the public, and today's cabinet meeting has been instrumental for us to discuss in great detail what is going on, and our ultimate aim was to do what is right for our nation. So within this context, in the first 2 weeks of the holy month of Ramadan, the restrictions will be a little more stringent, so we will be initiating a partial lockdown. So our target is to remarkably decrease the number of deaths and the new infected cases. So if we can reach to the we cannot reach to the level of improvement that we are expecting, then it will be inevitable to make those restrictions even much more stringent. As we are abbreviating it with the Turkish word tamam, the heating cleanliness, hygiene, wearing masks and social distancing, I would like to request from my citizens to obey by these rules. In addition to that, I want from my citizens to benefit from the vaccines if it is their cue already. It has been observed through scientific statistics that the vaccines are tackling this problem of COVID-19. So the following restrictions will be in place. The weekend lockdown will be going on, and during the weekdays from 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. the curfew will be in place. The intercity travels will not be allowed by taking into the exception of obligatory situation. And the citizens below the age of 18 and over the age of 65 will not be able to make use of the public transport. The flexible working hours will be put in place, and the pregnant woman and the woman with the children will be on administrative leave as well. And we will also be promoting the private sector companies to take similar decisions as well. The 8th to 12th grade and also the preschool kindergartens will be giving their services remotely. Restaurants, the gyms, and also similar buildings and similar enterprises will stop working until the end of holy month of Ramadan. The rest of the restaurants will be able to function only via takeaways. General board meetings, the wedding ceremonies, and similar events which are taking place in indoor areas are delayed until the end of Ramadan. The hotels can give services to their customers, so the fake reservations will not be tolerated at all. So, in addition to that, iftar meals, breaking the fasts together inside of the households will not be tolerated and will not be allowed as well. The communique about those restrictions will be published and they will be in place starting from tomorrow. May God help us all. I would like to extend my gratitude and deepest respect to each one of you. Stay healthy and safe.